Hello everyone, it's WarnogGamer4 here with a new challenge run video. For this one I'm going to be using the Omen Bairns as my main weapon of choice. This one was a suggested run from the previous video by Mutant Gamer. But I'm going to start by using the normal Omen Bairn first, then earn my way up to the Regal version. Now what are the Omen Bairns, you may ask? Well, it's a tool that weaponizes the spirits of Omen children that were discarded in the capital sewers. And because it goes in the tool slot, there is no need to worry about needing memory slots to equip it. Projectiles can go pretty far, kinda like the Elden Stars, and it also has a shockwave that can knock down enemies and deal damage if you're close enough. But those are pretty much the only upsides it has. Now for the downsides. It has a pretty slow use speed, meaning using it against faster enemies is a pretty big risk. They scale off of both intelligence and faith, meaning you need to invest your levels in both in order to increase your damage. The normal Omen Bairn is pretty bad with its descaling, and we're going to suffer with it for a while. It does an okay amount of damage but are expensive in FP cost, making them very inefficient. There's no way to reduce that FP cost either. Does holy damage, meaning the later half of the game bosses are going to be a pain in the ass because of their high holy resistance. Meaning that I'm gonna get stuck in Maliketh again for a while. It being a tool item means talismans can't buff it unless it increases holy damage in general. And it can actually blind you at times, meaning that you can't see how the enemy is planning to attack you. It's actually kinda comparable to the Elden Stars with it being a hassle to use, but at least it consistently hits its targets. But anyways, that's enough intro. Let's get right into the run. So first we spawn in the Omen Bairn, as it can't be obtained until we reach the subterranean shunning grounds. Pick up the sleeping pot recipe, and also the essentials for the run. Interact with our seafood bro Blackguard. Get the jellyfish shield, along with the faith and intelligence not crystal tiers. Now we farm some levels for our mind, faith, and intelligence. Get the Sacred Scorpion Charm from an invader near Caelid. And now it's time we quickly challenge Margit. For Margit, we stay as far away as possible and use our range advantage to take him down. A very simple and straightforward fight. I also had to use a spare Starlight Shard because I ran out of blue juice to finish off the boss. And eventually Margit goes down in about 9 minutes and 31 seconds. Now to the Frenzy Flame Tower I go to get the Hala Shabriri. Do a bit of farming and level up again. Then I go and get the Golden Order Seal. And now to the Swamp of Aeonia with 9 blue flasks to take down O'Neil. But with that amount it wasn't enough. So I had to switch over to a 1:11 ratio to take down O'Neil with a bit of cheese. Damn, that took a lot of blue flasks. But we get his Commander Standard as a reward for future buff use. Now to the Corpse Stench Shack to get Golden Bow. Manipulate the invader's AI to roll off the cliff. Cause a knight on the ladder to go stiff. Look at that, stiff as a statue because he got spooked to death by the spirits of Omen babies. Anyways, it's now time to fight Godrick. For Godrick, we just rinsed and repeat the strategy used against Margit. The fight was quite long and boring. It also took about 6 minutes and 20 seconds to end. And I also did die once. With Godrick dead, we level up, talk to Vare to start his quest, kill the Beastclaw NPC, who was pretty easy as long as I kept my distance, get the Maiden Blood, and now we have the expressway to Mohg's Palace to gain the better farming spot. And with the race being able to get to the bird, I start farming. And after about 100 dead blood birds later, I level up. Go and get the Ruler Mask for its +1 to faith, eliminate the boss at Loux Ruins to get the Ritual Sword Talisman, Eliminate the tree avatar to get the Holy Shroud and Crack tier. Eliminate the Lake Deathbird and the Near Capital Deathbird to get the Red Branch Sword Talisman and the Twin Bird Kite Shield, which gives us buffs near death. Now onwards to Raya Lucaria we go, where we quickly take care of the Red Wolf and the Carrion Knight Moonrum. And now it's time to fight Rennala. First phase was taken care of pretty easily, albeit a bit slow. For second phase though, it was a bit of a challenge. The best time to do damage against her is when she uses her Kamehameha spell. When she does this, we get close to her, knock her down with the shockwave, then send volleys of vengeful omen baby ghosts at her. Also, the Omen Bairn gets absorbed into the moon and any surviving projectiles act a bit weird. Using our range, eventually Rennala goes down in about 13 minutes and 43 seconds. And I also died 3 times. Going forward, we get the Two Fingers Heirloom, and get Godrick's Great Rune, which is pretty much the best Great Rune in the game. Set up our health for Red Branch Sword range. Then start pelting the Draconic Tree Sentinel with the Omen Bairn, a somewhat cheesy way of taking care of the boss, and all you gotta do is dodge the lightning strikes. Eventually the Draconic Tree Sentinel goes down in about 19 minutes and 15 seconds. And embarrassingly died 2 times. Cheesy way to fight him, but very time consuming. Now we fight Phantom Godfrey, who was a very easy fight. Strategy was just tactically retreating and attacking from afar. The fight lasted 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Yeah, sometimes when you have a good ranged homing weapon, some of these bosses get very trivialized. With False Godfrey down, we go and get Margit Shackle from Patches, get Marika's Scar Seal for the stat boost, and because I want the Dung Eater alive for the Omen ending, we are not going to get the Omen set just yet. So instead I go and get the 2 Seedbed Curses in the capital, fight Morgott, who just like his father got felled real easy. Yeah, the homing aspects of the projectile really do simplify some of these bosses, just because they don't try to dodge it. Morgott goes down in about 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Easy but a long fight because the Omen Bairn's damage is lacking big time. But that doesn't matter now because we get the upgraded version from Morgott's Remembrance. Yes, now we have access to the Regal Omen Bairn. Just look at that damage comparison. It's quite the major upgrade. So much so that the normal version is not worth using anymore. I don't know why I kept it in my inventory because it costed me to win against the Godskin Noble at the Volcano Manor. Accidentally swapped to it instead of the Regal version. Anyway, once Fatty is down, we go and get the Seedbed Curse located here. Now I make my way through the mountaintop towards Castle Sol, almost getting nothing personal kid multiple times. Now we challenge the boss here, taking out the summons in just one burst. I was just running back and forth the arena. We take down Commander Niall real easy. All it took was 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Get a half of the secret medallion, get the other half at the Albinaric village. Now at the consecrated snowfield we make quick work of the liturgical town, lighting up the way to the Haligtree. or I get killed by a bunch of bubble musicians. Get the Pearl Drake Talisman +2. Go to the Mountaintop Frozen Lake to get Seppuku for self-damage. The things I do for this challenge run. And now we fight against Loretta, who I burst down pretty well at the start. Then I take advantage of her double swirl Loretta spin to win attack. Taking her down pretty easy, with the fight taking about 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Man, this Regal Omen Bairn is much better. Now I level up, get the Seedbed curses here at the Haligtree, and now it's time to do the Tyrannical Turd Taster's quest. But first we have to save our seafood, bro. I'm sorry, Blackguard, but I must aggro you in order to save you from your fate. With the deed done, we go and talk to the Mad Manure Muncher at the round table. Please, Omen, I'm a friend. I use the spirits of your fallen to fight against your oppressors. Anyways, we free the ferocious Fecal Feaster. Show him whose Omen wraiths are stronger. Look, Blackguard's alive, but very pissed off. Now we do unspeakable things to the despicable Diarrhea Diner. In order to get the Mending Rune of the Fell Curse. And also we get his armor for the damage boost of our burn. But it's very heavy, so we are just gonna rock 2 pieces for now. Now I go to the Giant Jar at Caelid's to get the Great Jar's Arsenal. To help lighten the equip load. But even with that, the armor is still too heavy. Good thing I have a horse when I fight Fire Giants. So going in with a 5 to 8 flask configuration. We now fight the HP damage sponge that is Fire Giant. For Fire Giant, the strategy is to stick near his bad leg and just start spamming the Regal Omen Bairn, where we do a surprisingly large amount of damage. For phase 2, we start by spamming the burn at him, then swap to a different chest piece so I can medium roll. Now all I gotta do is wait for the end of his short attack combos in order to attack. Eventually Fire Giant goes down in about 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Now it's time to head over to the floating ruins in the sky. Why yes, I use the spirit of deceased Omen children to kill my enemies. How can you tell? Anyways, I go and get a few more cracked pots, and now it's time to fight the Godskin duo. For the duo, we take the easy mode route, so we put them to sleep and then burst whichever one we target. Biggie also decided to do a get down, Mr. President, saving the skinny Godskin. But after a while they both go down, with the fight taking about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Moving forward, I tank the Hawks with my poise in the next area. Take out the Sentinel guard in front of Maliketh's boss fog. Get the Haligtree Talisman +2 for major holy defense, and attempt to fight Maliketh with my current stats, which goes as well as you would think with a slow to use tool that blinds you whenever you use it. I need to level up, but all farming and no play makes me a dull boy, so instead of farming for a long time, repeating the same movements over and over, I will now start spawning the runes in. Cheating is bad, MK. But what's also bad is fighting Maliketh with holy damage. Also, the camera's a hassle to deal with sometimes. I did die quite a few times, but at least not as much as when I was doing the Elden Star run. So for Maliketh's first phase, we pretty much play ring around the rosies around the entire arena, attacking when only he slows down for a bit. For the second phase, I use the Regal Omen Bairn safely after baiting out his double spin dive, or when he tries to Destined Death me. After a stressful while, Maliketh goes down in about 11 minutes and 5 seconds, and I also had to retry 7 times. With Maliketh defeated, I level up my stamina until I can mid-roll with the Omen armor chest piece. And now it's time to fight Malenia. First phase easy as long as you don't look at her, and let the spirits of the Omen babies do the rest of the work. She also barely even attacked at all. No waterfall used at all even. But now for the second phase we actually have to try. So we start off by getting a pretty good head start against her. The rest of the fight is waiting till she uses her slam so I can attack with relative safety. Once she starts using Scarlet Aeonia again, she's pretty much easy pickings. Ah yes, the magic of Elden Ring's projectile tracking. You know, I should have checked if I could knock her down if I dodged into her slam attack. But the Omen Bairn probably would have been too slow, so it would have been a big risk to try it. And with one final close call, Malenia goes down in about 11 minutes and 40 seconds. And I died 1 time. But before moving on with the main story, we go and get Marika's Source Seal, then go and fight Mohg, who was pretty easy to avoid most of the times, and I kept on just hitting him from afar. The fight took about 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Now I attempt to fight Rykard, but because of the boss's giant health pool and my weapon's high FP cost, I ran out of FP and had to save and quit to get some extra Starlight Shards. Also went in with a 4-to-10 flask ratio this time. The first phase was just a whole lot of dodging and striking after the snake's full attack chain. For the second phase, Rykard actually gives a good amount of opportunities for attacks. But with the boss's large amount of health, I eventually ran out of blue flasks. So I had to rely on the spare Starlight Shards I collected. Eventually Rykard goes down in about 15 minutes and 2 seconds. Now it's time to delete Gideon in only a few seconds. Here we get his scepter to debuff the enemy, and now it's time to fight Godfrey. Godfrey's first phase was pretty much the same as fighting his phantom version, so we focused on staying away and attacking. For phase 2, the boss's Mega Slams was pretty much the only time I could attack him without getting grabbed and power slammed to near death. Eventually Godfrey goes down in about 10 minutes and 44 seconds. Time to level up a bit, and now I test the waters a bit for the final boss. The amount of damage I do is not sufficient enough, so it's time to get the backup Mimic and Starlight Shards. I quickly take care of Radahn because of how overleveled I am. Radahn only lasted about 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Eliminate our Mimic with no mercy. Get the Mimic Tear Ash. Get the Fingerslayer Blade and the Great Ghost Glovewort. Head over to Ainsel Rivermain. Delete the Furry Invader.
Beautifully formed.
Make pretty quick work of Astel. The fight also lasted about 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Grab the Starlight Shards on the floor and get all the Ghost Glovewort bells. Buy Lord's Divine Fortification for the Mimic. Get the Cerulean Seed Talisman at the normal Carrion Study Hall. Eliminate the Deathbird and Limgrave to get the Blue Branch Sword Talisman. Get taken to Pound Town and die. And due to the lack of damage, I did not have enough class for the Elden Beast, so I had to quit out of the fight. Time to level up until I can mid-roll without Godrick's Great Rune bonus, and my Faith and Intelligence is up to 80. Now going in with a 2 to 12 flask ratio and talismans kitted out for my Mimic survivability, it's time to fight the final boss for real this time. After I bring out my Mimic, I swap my talismans around for increased damage and FP recovery. Most of the fight was making sure not to waste a Regal Bairn attack because I need to use my FP as efficient as possible. Radagon was just a whole lot of aggro swapping between me and the Mimic. I would also try to debuff the boss as much as I could. But Radagon was very slippery to deal with at times because of his grabs. With Radagon down, now it's time to fight the Elden Beast. Elden Beast has a very chunky health bar with a whole lot of holy damage resistance. Also very easy to hit after an attack chain, but takes a long time to take down. With the boss's health a little less than halfway down, I started to use Starlight Shards while keeping one flask for emergency use. The Starlight Shards make this fight a whole lot slower than it has to be. And also the Mimic is a god-blessed trooper. And after that long ass amount of fighting, the Elden Beast goes down, with all the fighting taking about 33 minutes and 14 seconds, and I had to retry 2 times. All that fighting and I used up all my FP flask and had 1 Starlight Shard to spare. Man, that was close. Well, there you have it folks, we have beaten the game using the spirits of deceased Omen babies / children, or more specifically the Omen and Regal Omen Bairn. That was quite the challenge run I went through. Quite frustrating in the beginning, but afterwards it was pretty much half fun and half annoying in the latter half of the game. Holy damage pretty much always suffers near the end game, but at least I didn't suffer as much as I did when compared to using the Elden Stars. Thinking about it now, they are pretty similar to each other. You get the mid-game, with the normal Omen Bairn being pretty trash when you get it. They cost a whole lot of focus points to use, and require a lot of stat investment just to do okay damage. But at least it's less glitchy than the Elden Stars. Didn't have much of a problem against most of the bosses except for Maliketh. Slow and weak holy attacks is not a good way to fight him. But overall it went pretty well. Thank you again for recommending this run to me, and I will continue to look out for more recommendations for later challenge run videos. Next run is probably going to be a more chill run. Been doing a lot of frustrating ones as of lately, and I want to cool off for a bit with an easy one. Well, this has been Warnock Gamer 4, and make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the bell notifications for alerts whenever I post a new video. And thanks for watching this video and my previous videos if you have as well. Later.